The cafeteria was loud with laughter, boots scraping against metal floors, and trays clattering with leftover rations. It was another day on base, the kind of day when even soldiers tried to find a sliver of normal life between drills and orders. At one corner, a group of Navy SEALs sat together, teasing, boasting, laughing like brothers. They were rough, proud, unbreakable. And then, the room shifted. A woman in uniform walked in. She was quiet, her posture straight, her eyes calm. Her uniform was crisp, the insignia on her shoulder unfamiliar to most of the men. The room didn't fall silent, not yet, but attention followed her like a shadow. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Tell me where you're watching from. She took her tray and sat alone near the window, where sunlight filtered through the blinds. A young SEAL, confident, charming, maybe too confident, stood up, smirking. His friends grinned. He walked toward her table. He leaned slightly forward, his tone playful. "Hey, ma'am," he said. "Mind if I ask what your rank is?" She looked up, her gaze steady, unreadable. There was no arrogance, no fear, just stillness. "Major," she replied softly. The SEAL chuckled. "Major! Didn't see you around before. You sure about that?" Laughter rippled from the nearby table. The air thickened, not with anger yet, but something colder, heavier. She didn't blink. "Quite sure," she said, returning her gaze to her food. The SEAL crossed his arms. "You don't look like a major. You look new." That word, new, hung in the air. A few soldiers glanced up from their meals, watching. Some smirked, others frowned. No one intervened. Then, from across the cafeteria, a senior officer entered, a colonel. The chatter dimmed instantly. He walked with authority, his boots echoing against the tiles. His eyes landed on the scene. He stopped beside the woman's table. For a second, silence. Then, to everyone's shock, he snapped to attention. "Major Williams," he said firmly. "Good to see you back on base, ma'am." The SEAL froze. His smile vanished. Every man at that table straightened, eyes wide, hearts thudding. She gave a calm nod. "Thank you, Colonel. It's good to be back." The colonel turned, his gaze slicing through the air. "Gentlemen," he said, "I suggest you show some respect." Major Williams led the medical evacuation unit during Operation Harrow. 46 lives were saved under her command, including mine. No one moved. The cafeteria, once full of laughter, now felt hollow, as if every sound had been swallowed by shame. The SEAL's throat tightened. I didn't know," he whispered. Major Williams finally looked at him. Not with anger, not even disappointment, just quiet strength. "You weren't supposed to know," she said gently. "Respect isn't about knowing someone's story. It's about remembering that everyone has one." The colonel nodded faintly, pride in his eyes. Then he left, his boots fading into the corridor. The SEAL stood in silence, his confidence stripped away, replaced by something heavier: humility. He wanted to apologize, but she had already returned to her meal, her calmness saying more than any words could. Later, when she stood to leave, the room shifted again. Every soldier in that cafeteria rose instinctively to attention, not because of her rank, but because of what she carried: quiet courage. As she walked out, sunlight framed her silhouette. For a brief moment, it felt as if the whole base held its breath, not out of fear, but out of respect rediscovered. That night, the same SEAL sat alone by the barracks window, thinking. The day's drills, the laughter, the teasing, all felt small compared to the silence she'd left behind. He realized that strength wasn't always loud. Sometimes it walked softly, in the form of grace. Weeks later, when a new recruit entered the cafeteria and made a careless joke about another officer, that same SEAL was the first to stop him. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply said, "Careful. You don't know who you're talking to." And in that moment, the lesson had passed on, quietly, like a ripple through still water, because respect isn't demanded by rank or medals. It's earned, and sometimes silently taught. True power doesn't speak loud. It stands still, calm in the storm, and lets its integrity echo where words never reach. If this story moved you, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Share your thoughts below, and remember, kindness is the highest rank there is.